The principal advisor to Chief Justice John Roberts has emphasized the importance of maintaining judicial independence by avoiding political disputes. Robert Dow, a federal judge and counselor to Roberts, defended the Chief Justice following criticism of his end-of-year report, which some perceived as a subtle critique of incoming President Donald Trump. Roberts had addressed the increasing intimidation and threats against judges in his December 31, 2024, report. At the Sixth Circuit Judicial Conference in Memphis, Tennessee, Dow clarified that Trump's presidency did not influence Roberts' report, noting that a full draft was completed before the 2024 election. Dow highlighted Roberts' awareness of the risks associated with the judiciary being drawn into partisan conflicts. Dow stated, "The problem for our branch is that we have a very tiny megaphone. If we use it too often, we risk losing what I would say is the long game, which is to preserve our independence." Roberts' report did not explicitly mention Trump, but followed the president's repeated criticisms of judges involved in his legal cases. Roberts condemned those who have suggested disregarding federal court rulings and warned against such dangerous notions. The report underscored the potential for a constitutional conflict between the executive branch and the Supreme Court during Trump's tenure. In March, Roberts issued a rare statement condemning Trump's calls for the impeachment of U.S. District Judge James E. Boasberg after he blocked an attempt to use an 18th-century wartime law for expedited deportations without due process. Roberts wrote, "For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision." Previously, in 2018, Roberts spoke out against Trump after the president suggested a ruling against his administration was made by an Obama judge. During the judicial conference, Dow suggested that judges might need to engage more actively with the public to address rising threats and intimidation. He remarked, "This may be a wake-up call for all of us to rededicate ourselves, to get out there in the world and not be isolated judges. We must ensure that people understand what we do, why it's important, and the value over the long term for our country that we continue to have a strong, robust, independent judiciary that's free from violence and intimidation and whose rulings are respected."